Hello everyone, this is Ilya. I came from Hebei Giant Metal Technology Limited Company. Welcome to our 128th Cotton Fair online trade show. And now I will introduce our mini product to you. This is crowd control barrier. And for our mini product, we have so many kinds of fence, such as triangle bending fence, crowd control barrier, high security fence, chain link fence, T-post, Y-post, farm fence, cattle fence, gaping box, so many kinds of fence. If you need it, you can contact us and we will send you our free drawings and quotations to you. Our company is located in the hometown of the wire mesh in China, Anping County, Hebei Province. Welcome to visit us, and our company has a long history for 30 years. And now I will introduce the crowd control barrier to you. For the crowd control barrier, we have so many kinds of types. For this one is the American crowd control barrier, and we also have Australia and Europe crowd control barrier. I will introduce it one by one, and for this one is for the American. You can see for this one the colors is black, and we also can do like this one, hot dip galvanized. And you can see for the feet, you can see it is like a bridge, so we call it bridge feet. Now you can see we call it bridge feet. Maybe you have a question why this is bigger and this is small, because when we have the corner, we will put it like this. You can see our picture, this one. If you have a corner, we will put the bigger one to cover the smaller one. So it's used for the corner. And for the feet, this is the bridge feet. And we also have this one. This is the flat feet. This is the flat feet. For the crowd control barrier, we usually use it to control the traffic or for the park. You can see this one is a picture. It's in a June. For the American crowd control barrier, for the height, we can do 6.5 feet or 7 feet or even 7.5 feet or 8 feet or even 8.5 feet. And for the it's for the length. And for the height, we can do the height is 1.1 or 1.2, 1.4 or even 1.5 meters. And for the frame tube, this is a round tube, and the tube diameter we can do is 38 millimeters, and the thickness we can do is 1.5 millimeter or 1.8 millimeter or even 2 millimeters. We can do as your requirement. And for the inner tube, you can see there are some inner tube. For the inner tube, the size is 12. The diameter is 12 millimeters, and the thickness we can do is 1.2 millimeter. And for the inner tube, we also can do 16 millimeters, and for the thickness we also can do 1.2 or 1.5 millimeters. And for the distance of the inner tube, we can do is 110 millimeter or 120 millimeter, even 150 millimeters. And for the bridge feet, the size we can do is 67.5 millimeter by 500 millimeters. For the flat feet. And for the flat feet, the size we can do is 50 millimeters by 580 millimeters, and the thickness we can do 5 millimeters or 6 millimeters. And this one is just a very small sample. And for the crowd control barrier, we have three kinds of the feet. This one is bridge, and this one is flat feet. And we also have a welded tube. Like this one is a welded tube. This is our welded tube, and the size like a V, so we also call it V-shaped feet. And for this one, you can see the surface treatment is hard dip galvanized, and the surface is and the color is silver. You can see this is a big sample. Is the inner tube and the frame tube. And for the height is 1.2 meter, and for the length is 1.5 meter. And for the surface treatment, there are three kinds of the surface treatment. For the first one is this one, is PVC coated after the galvanized hot dip galvanized tube welded. And the second one is the PVC coated after the black tube welded. And the third one is the hot dip galvanized after the black tube welded. And I think this one has the fourth one. I think is hot dip galvanized after the black tube welded. Okay, for the surface treatment, the first one is this one, the PVC coated after the hot dip galvanized welded, and the third one is the hot dip galvanized after the galvanized tube welded, and the third one is the hot dip galvanized after the black tube welded. Okay, now I will show you some pictures of the packing, like this one. We can packing the crowd control barrier in bulk or on the metal pallet, like this. You can see there are some colorful crowd control barrier. Some one is yellow, and we also can do as your requirement. For the color, because the surface treatment is PVC coated, so many kinds of colors are available for you. Okay, hello guys, welcome back. Okay, now I changed the small samples. For this one, just now I introduced this one is for the American, and for this one, you can see it's not similar with the American. This one is for the European market. You can see this one, the surface treatment is hot dip galvanized after the black tube welded, and the silver and the color is silver. You can see on the top there's a small tube, and this one is a horizontal tube. For this one, the Europe crowd control barrier, the different place is it add a horizontal tube. And for this one, the frame tube is very the diameter is very big. Then the diameter of the tube is, for the frame, the tube is 38 millimeters, and the thickness we can do is 1.5 millimeter. And for this one, the frame tube, the size is 48 millimeters, and the thickness is 1.2 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter, even 2.0 millimeters. Now you can see for the clamp, for this one, this is a bending, and we can put this one into this to connect the crowd control barrier. And for the connection, we also have this one. It's a different design. It's a bending, and we can use it like this. It's different. And now you can see for this one, the feet is a welded feet and the shape like a letter V, so we call it V-shaped feet. And for the height of the V-shaped feet is 270 millimeters. And for the bridge, now you can see this one. For the bridge, the size is 60 and 67.5 millimeters, and the height is 50 millimeters. And for the flat feet, you can see this one is the flat feet. For the flat feet, it's just a small samples, and for our commonly size, the flat feet, the width is 50 millimeters, and the length is 580 millimeters. For the thickness is 6 millimeters. And for the panel height, it's just a small sample. And for our company size, the height we can do 2 meter or 2.2, even 2.5 meter. And for the length, it's for the length. For the length, we can do is 2 meter or 2.2 or even 2.5 meter. And for the height of the crowd control barrier, we can do 900 millimeters or 1,000 millimeters, or 1.1 meter or 1.2 meter. And for the inner tube, the inner tube is 16 millimeters, and the thickness of the inner tube is 1.2 millimeter or 1.5 millimeters. And for the inner tube, the distance of the inner tube, you can choose 110 millimeters and 120 millimeters, even 150 millimeters. For this one, the surface treatment is hot dip galvanized. After the tube welded, and the second one is the hot dip galvanized after the black tube welded. And for the packing, we can packing it in bulk or in the metal pellet. Okay, now I finished the introduce of the Europe crowd control barrier. Then the next one is Australia. Then the next one is the Australia crowd control barrier. Maybe you think it's similar with the Europe crowd control barrier, but the size is not same. Such as the frame tube. For the frame tube, the diameter is 25 millimeters, and the thickness you can choose is 1.0 millimeter or 1.2 millimeter or 1.6 millimeter, even 2.0 millimeter. And for the inner tube, the diameter is 20 millimeter, and the thickness is 1.1, 1.2, or 1.5 millimeter. And for the distance of the inner tube, you can choose is 110 millimeter, or 120 millimeter, or 150 millimeter, even 196 millimeter. And for the flat feet, the size for the flat feet, this one is just a very small sample, and for our company size, the width is 50 millimeter, and the length is 580 millimeters, and the thickness is 6 millimeter. And it also can match this one is the bridge. It also can match the bridge feet. For the bridge feet, just now I introduced to you. For the smaller one and the bigger one, you can use it in the corner. If you have a corner, then you can use it. Put the bigger one under on the smaller one like this. And for the bridge feet, the size is 67.5 millimeter, and for the height is 50 millimeter. For the height is 500 millimeters. And for the Australia crowd control barrier, we also have another size. For this one, you can see it's not similar with the inner tube. The inner is a chain link fence. You can see this one is our chain link fence. For this one, you can see the inner is the right wear, and we called it chain link fabric. And for the chain link fence, the wear diameter you can choose 3 millimeter or 4 millimeter. And for the hole size, you can choose from 40 millimeter to 50 millimeter, or you can choose 60 millimeters. And you can see this one is the tie wear. We will fix it with the tube. For the tie wear, you can choose. For this one is only galvanized wear, and we also have the PVC wear. Now you can see on our brochures, this one is this one. The tie wear is a green PVC wear. Now let's see the next small sample. For this one, the inner wear is just a galvanized wear. It's also the chain link fabric, and the thickness for the wear diameter we can choose 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter, 3 millimeter or 4 millimeter or 5 millimeters. And for the match hole, we can choose similar with the PVC. The hole size is 40 millimeter by 40 millimeter, or 50 by 50, or 60 by 60 millimeters. Now you can see this one is a round one, and we just put it like this. When you install it, it's very easy, just like this. it will be connect very well. And for this one, we also can use the flat fit. Okay, now I finished my introduce of the crowd control barrier. Now you can know we have this one is the it's the American standard. For the American standard, we have for the feet, we have the flat feet and the bridge feet, and we also have the welded feet. That shape like a letter V, so we also call it V-shape feet. And for this one is the Europe standard, and for this one is the Australia standard. So many kinds of crowd control barrier are available for you. If you want it, please contact us. We can send you the small sample, or we can send you the drawings. It's for free. Thank you for your coming to our 128 Cotton Fair online trade show. This is Ilya. I came from Hebei Giant Metal Technology Limited Company. Our company is located in the hometown of the wire mesh in China, Anping County, Hebei Province. We have a long history, around 30 years. We are well professional in the wire mesh. We have so many kinds of fence, such as the triangle bending fence, the crowd control barrier, the gaping box, the double wire mesh fence, the foam fence, the deer fence, field fence, high security fence, gaping box, temporary fence, chain link fence, tubular fence. So many kinds of fence are available for you. If you want it, just contact us. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.